Some wars are remembered through battles, others through stories that never fade. World War II didn't just change history, it redefined how we tell stories. These 15 films didn't just recreate war, they captured the human soul beneath the uniforms, the rubble, and the silence. But what makes these movies timeless isn't just the battles on screen, it's what happened behind the camera. The risks taken, the stories almost lost. So buckle in, because here are 15 World War II movies that didn't just survive the war, they survived time. In the ruins of Stalingrad, Soviet sniper Vasily Zaitsev becomes a propaganda hero until the Nazis send their own elite marksmen to silence him. It's a sniper duel layered in psychological warfare, with every bullet a message and every miss a gamble. Why is it timeless? Because it shrinks a massive war down to two men and reminds us how ideologies use soldiers as symbols. Jude Law, Rachel Weisz, and Ed Harris pull us into a battle of tension, not just action. The production rebuilt war-torn Stalingrad in Germany, including 400 meters of ruined city streets, and over 1,000 extras trained daily like soldiers. The opening landing scene, shot in one take across 4 weeks and over $8 million. Anno took a massive risk, telling a Soviet victory story in post-Cold War Hollywood, and it worked. British POWs in Burma are ordered to build a railway bridge for the Japanese, yet their pride slowly shifts them from resistance to cooperation. Colonel Nicholson becomes obsessed with proving British superiority, even if it means helping the enemy. Why timeless? It's a war film about ego disguised as honor and discipline disguised as madness. The final explosion doesn't just destroy the bridge, it shatters everything the characters thought they believed in. Shot in the wilds of Sri Lanka, the crew dealt with snakes, tropical heat, and serious illness. Alec Guinness initially rejected the role, arguing it made British officers look weak. Lean rewrote key scenes to win him over. That famous bridge, built for real and blown up for real in one perfect take with live TNT. The cameras nearly missed it. 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director David Lean, and Best Actor Alec Guinness. The American war film that dared to tell the enemy's side, directed by Clint Eastwood, this haunting piece follows Japanese soldiers defending Iwo Jima, told through their final letters home. It's raw, tragic, and deeply human. Why timeless? Because it breaks the mold. Instead of heroes and villains, it shows men, confused, scared, doing their duty, knowing the end is coming. It doesn't ask for forgiveness, it simply offers understanding. Eastwood shot the entire film in Japanese, a move unheard of for a Hollywood director. Ken Watanabe and the cast worked without glamour, often with real letters from World War II veterans to build emotional authenticity. Eastwood originally planned it as a DVD bonus feature, until it outshined Flags of Our Fathers. He even composed its minimalist piano score himself, nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, 1 Best Sound Editing. A bold plan, a tunnel, and a motorcycle. Based on the true story of Allied POWs who plotted one of World War II's most daring prison breaks, this film became a symbol of resistance and cleverness. Why timeless? Because it's more than war. It's about freedom, rebellion, and the unkillable human spirit. And let's be honest, Steve McQueen became an icon with a single jump. That motorcycle scene? McQueen did most of the writing himself, even disguised as a German soldier during parts of the chase. Filmed in Bavaria, the team used real POW tunnel blueprints and brought in consultants who had lived through it. The actual escape? Far less glamorous. But the legend lives on. Nominated for Best Film Editing. Its theme became one of the most recognized war movie scores of all time. 400,000 Allied soldiers trapped on a beach. No food, no rescue. Told from 3 timelines, land, sea, air, Christopher Nolan's take on Dunkirk is raw, stripped down, and relentless. Why timeless? Because it abandons speeches and sentiment and just puts you in the moment. It's survival, second by second, fear, grit, unity, no flags, no glory, just human instinct. Nolan used real ships, real planes, and 6,000 extras. The film used practical effects over CGI, shooting in harsh weather to capture authenticity. He even wrote the script with almost no dialogue, just tension. Tom Hardy had just a few lines, but his eyes told an entire story. Won 3 Oscars, Best Editing, Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing, nominated for Best Picture and Best Director. Loving these deep cuts and untold stories? Hit that subscribe button. This is just the halfway point. Amid the chaos of Guadalcanal, Terrence Malick delivers a war film unlike any other. This isn't about strategy. It's about the soul. Soldiers drift through memories, fears, and questions, narrating their inner lives as nature quietly watches. Why timeless? Because it sees war not as spectacle, but as spiritual erosion. It's meditative, beautiful, and achingly human. Malick returned to directing after a 20-year absence, then famously shot over 1 million feet of film, and cut major actors like Mickey Rourke entirely. Hans Zimmer's haunting score was written before filming, guiding the visual tone. The cast, Penn, Nolte, Caviezel, filmed without ever seeing the full script. Malick wanted performances shaped by feeling, not certainty. Nominated for 7 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. George S. Patton wasn't just a general, he was a storm in uniform. And this biopic doesn't shy away from that. We see his brilliance, ego, flaws, and triumphs. Why timeless? Because it's not a salute, it's a study of obsession. The opening monologue, delivered in front of a giant flag, became instant legend. George C. Scott refused to attend the Oscars, calling the ceremony a meat parade, yet still won Best Actor. The film was released during the Vietnam War, and its themes sparked debate on military glory versus futility. Director Franklin J. Schaffner shot scenes like battles, not from above, but from inside the fire. Won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor. No tanks, no battles, just a boy and his sister trying to survive. After their city is firebombed, they drift through a Japan that can't feed them. It's animated, but it's one of the most devastating war films ever made. Why timeless? Because it speaks to what war steals from the innocent. Studio Ghibli co-founder Isao Takahata based the film on a semi-autobiographical story. Audiences weren't ready. Even in Japan, many walked out crying. It was released as a double feature with My Neighbor Totoro. Heartwarming joy followed by absolute heartbreak. The contrast, intentionally cruel, recognized globally as one of the greatest animated and anti-war films ever made. The first 20 minutes, that's all it takes to understand war. Spielberg's visceral D-Day sequence left audiences breathless. But the film isn't just action, it's a meditation on sacrifice. Why timeless? Because it doesn't glorify, it confronts. Earn this 2 words that became a moral anchor for a generation. Spielberg used real World War II veterans to consult on battle accuracy. The cast went through a brutal boot camp, except Matt Damon, so the actors would resent him naturally. The handheld camera work? Spielberg's idea to make viewers feel like they were in the surf. Won 5 Oscars, including Best Director. Lost Best Picture to Shakespeare in Love in one of the most debated Oscar upsets ever. Are still with us? Then you're built for timeless cinema. Hit that subscribe button, your film IQ just keeps going up. A greedy businessman becomes an unlikely savior over 1,000 Jewish lives during the Holocaust. Spielberg didn't dramatize this story. He humbled himself to it. Shot in stark black and white, it's as raw as history allows. Why timeless? Because it shows that one man in the darkest time did something. Spielberg refused a salary. The movie made him cry daily. Most of it was filmed at real Holocaust sites. The girl in the red coat, one of the only color moments, symbolizing lost innocence. And that final scene with survivors placing stones, it wasn't scripted, it just happened. 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay. A father protects his son during the Holocaust with jokes. Guido turns a concentration camp into a game to shield his child from horror. It's whimsical, tragic, miraculous. Why timeless? Because laughter, even in the darkest places, can be an act of defiance. Roberto Benigni directed, wrote, and starred in the film, becoming the first actor to win Best Actor in a non-English film. The idea sparked controversy. Is it okay to make humor about the Holocaust? His answer was simple: yes, if it's about love. Won 3 Oscars, including Best Actor and Best Foreign Language Film. Also won the Grand Prix at Cannes. Alan Turing helped defeat the Nazis and was then punished for being gay. This film captures that tragedy, brilliance, and betrayal in the same breath. Why timeless? Because it reminds us that even heroes are vulnerable to their own societies. Benedict Cumberbatch immersed himself in Turing's real notes and even recorded parts of the narration with a stutter, as Turing likely had. The real Turing story was classified until the 1990s. The title, a nod to his test, How Do We Know If a Machine Is Human?, won Best Adapted Screenplay, nominated for 8 Oscars, including Best Picture. Claustrophobia, sweat, silence. This German film drops you into a U-boat for 2.5 hours. and never lets you breathe. Why timeless? Because it shows war from the other side. Not evil, not noble, just men trapped under pressure. Director Wolfgang Peterson built the U-boat on a hydraulic gimbal to rock the set. The actors had to memorize rhythm, not just lines, to match the submarine's movement. It took 2 years to film, and most of the cast ended up genuinely seasick. The result? A film where you don't just watch, you feel. Nominated for 6 Oscars, including Best Director. Ladislav Spilman survived the Warsaw Ghetto by hiding in bombed-out buildings, clinging to music and memory. This film doesn't glorify survival, it presents it as quiet endurance. Why timeless? Because it shows that beauty, in the form of music, can resist destruction. Roman Polanski was a Holocaust survivor himself. His own childhood informed every frame. Adrian Brody lost 30 pounds, gave up his apartment, his car, everything to get into character. When he sat at the piano for the final scene, he wasn't acting. He was playing through grief. Won 3 Academy Awards, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, also won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Rick, Ilsa, A War-Torn City, and One Impossible Choice. Casablanca is about love and sacrifice in a world on fire. Why timeless? Because it's not just about who gets the girl, it's about who deserves to walk away. And it gave us one of the most quoted scripts in history. The production was chaos, the script was rewritten daily, even Bogart didn't know how it would end. The song, As Time Goes By, was almost cut, but Ingrid Bergman had already chopped her hair for another role, so they couldn't reshoot. Serendipity saved a masterpiece. 3 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director, now preserved in the National Film Registry. These films didn't just survive World War II. They survived time, rewrites, budget cuts, and critics. Because some stories just need to be told. Which one hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. The next timeless tale might just be one click away.